Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFC East lately, you know that things are heating up in a serious way. And one of the biggest rumors making waves right now is a potential trade that could reshape the division. We're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, a team struggling mightily this season, and the Washington Commanders, who are looking to capitalize on every opportunity to get better and push toward that playoff run. The buzz is that the Bengals might be looking to part ways with Trey Hendrickson, one of their most relentless pass rushers, in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And if this happens, it could be a total game-changer for Washington. Let's break down what this really means. The Bengals, sitting at 3-8, are having a tough year. Their defense, which was supposed to be a strength, has been leaking points at an alarming rate. They're giving up an average of 32. 7 points per game, which is way too high for a team with playoff aspirations. Their pass rush, once regarded as formidable, has seen a dip in production, down by about 25% in sacks compared to last year, and that's where Hendrickson comes into play. This guy, drafted back in 2017, has been a motor on the edge, known for relentless pressure and game-changing sacks. Over his 9-year career, he's compiled 81 sacks, with a PFF grade averaging around 88. And he's been a proven force during his time with the Bengals. For the Commanders, who are desperately seeking an edge rusher after multiple injuries in their rotation, adding Hendrickson could be a huge boost. Now, as an NFL insider, I can tell you that the Bengals are in a tricky spot financially. They have about $10 million in cap space, but they're also in the middle of negotiations with Joe Burrow for a big extension. That's putting some pressure on their cap management, especially as they try to balance building around Burrow with retooling their defense. Reports from sources like Adam Schefter suggest that the Bengals have been exploring trade options before the November 4 deadline, especially for veteran pass rushers. Diana Rossini has mentioned that Cincinnati is prioritizing freeing up cap space, around $10 million, to give their young core like Jamar Chase room to grow. That's a clear signal they're trying to focus on their future, even if it means parting ways with a player like Hendrickson, who's been a cornerstone of their defense. Looking at Hendrickson's stats and impact, he's exactly the kind of player a team like Washington needs. A relentless motor, someone who can elevate the entire defensive line. He's not just about sacks. He's about applying pressure that affects quarterbacks, forcing turnovers, and creating havoc. His career numbers are impressive. 161 solo tackles, 75 assists, and those 81 sacks paint him as an elite pass rusher. In 2025, he's played 7 games, registered 11 tackles, 5 assists, and 4 sacks, despite battling a shoulder injury that caused him to miss some time in Week 8. But he's returned strong, proving his durability and resilience. Hendrickson's style is akin to a tornado on the field, unstoppable and disruptive, constantly demanding double teams and freeing up teammates. So why would the Bengals consider trading him now? Well, aside from cap constraints, they're also looking at their long-term prospects. With Burrow's extension looming, they need to prioritize offensive line upgrades and secondary help. Losing Hendrickson, who's been a vital part of their pass rush, might seem risky, but the Bengals might see it as a necessary move to rebuild their cap space and focus on developing their younger players. Plus, the sack numbers have dipped, and that's a concern for a team that's historically relied on a fierce pass rush to win games. Now, what does this all mean for Washington? If they pull off this trade, it's a total game-changer on their defensive front. Hendrickson, alongside players like Darren Payne, could elevate the Commanders' defensive line to a new level. Projected stats could see Washington's total sacks jump from around 25 to close to 43, with Hendrickson adding roughly 18 sacks alone. That's not just an upgrade, it's a seismic shift in their pass rush capabilities. It would also improve the overall defensive efficiency, reducing points allowed from around 26. 9 per game down to roughly 22, which is huge in today's NFL where every point counts. This move would also have a significant impact on the team's mental toughness and confidence. Hendrickson's relentless style of play would energize the entire defense, making it even harder for opponents to find clean pockets. His presence could also help the secondary, as teams would be forced to double-team him, creating opportunities for other pass rushers and coverage units. Plus, with Hendrickson's ability to generate pressure on third downs, projected to increase by about 12%, the Commanders could see a real boost in their ability to get off the field on critical plays. That's a huge advantage in close games, especially in divisional matchups like against the Eagles or Cowboys. Furthermore, adding Hendrickson can help the Commanders become more versatile defensively. His ability to push the pocket and set the edge will allow them to mix up their schemes, perhaps even rushing more from different angles, confusing offenses. The team's overall EPA, expected points added, per pass would see a significant uptick, making it tougher for quarterbacks to find comfortable throws. And in a division where quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott are always looking for ways to extend plays or escape pressure, Hendrickson's presence could be the difference maker in clutch moments. But it's not just about the immediate impact. This trade signals Washington's intent to go all in on building a ferocious, relentless defense that can carry the team deep into the playoffs. With Hendrickson on board, the Commanders could position themselves as serious contenders for the NFC East crown and beyond. Their odds of making a deep playoff run could improve dramatically, especially if they're able to leverage his pressure to generate turnovers and score defensive touchdowns. Bookmakers are already starting to take notice, with some betting odds suggesting the Commanders could see an increase in their Super Bowl chances, especially with the defense becoming a true strength. Of course, there are some risks. Trading away draft capital for a player like Hendrickson could backfire if he gets injured or doesn't produce at the same level. But given his track record and current form, he's a proven difference maker. The decision to acquire him would also send a clear message to the team and fans. Washington is serious about winning now, about building a defense that strikes fear into opponents. And in the NFL, that's often the key to making a deep playoff run. The NFC is competitive, but with Hendrickson in the fold, the Commanders could elevate their game and challenge the division favorites more than ever before. Looking ahead, the possibilities are exciting. If this trade happens, it could set off a chain reaction in the NFC East, forcing rivals like the Eagles and Cowboys to respond. Defensive upgrades are essential in today's NFL, and Washington may be on the verge of making one of the most impactful moves of the season. Hendrickson's addition could also inspire the rest of the roster, pushing the team to new heights. Fans should be thrilled about the potential for this kind of upgrade, especially as it aligns with the team's long-term vision of becoming a dominant force once again. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Do you believe this trade is the right move? Would Hendrickson be the perfect piece to help the Commanders reach the Super Bowl? Or do you think the Bengals might hold on to him a little longer? Either way, your voice counts, and I love hearing what you think. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Washington Commanders news. We're in this together, and the future looks brighter than ever. Let's keep the faith, keep the passion alive, and get ready for what could be an exciting, game-changing season ahead.